Hello Brighters, ketemu lagi di BRIGHTCAST Moraja. Kali ini seperti biasa barengan hostnya yaitu Mr. Rajiv. Dan kali ini Mr. Rajiv udah siap sekali untuk ngobrol bareng tamu kita di BRIGHTCAST Moraja. Tapi sebelumnya untuk kali ini BRIGHTCAST Moraja settingnya agak sedikit berbeda gitu ya. Kalau biasanya kamu mungkin nonton BRIGHTCAST Moraja itu dengan quote-quote di belakangnya, atau kita sempat take di beberapa tempat yang ada di Monarch Bali-Singaraja seperti di La Fontaine Restaurant atau juga di lobby gitu ya. Nah untuk kali ini Mr. Rajiv ada di salah satu part di Monarch Bali-Singaraja. Mau disebutin? Jangan dulu ya, itu masih rahasia, oke? Tapi yang jelas untuk kali ini Mr. Rajiv sudah bersama salah seorang tamu yang akan diajak ngobrol di BRIGHTCAST Moraja. Nah kalau biasanya mungkin tamunya adalah pribumi gitu ya, kentara sekali. Tapi untuk kali ini kita kedatangan tamu dari salah satu timnya English First. Nah bakalan ngebahas apa sih kira-kira barengan yang ada di samping saya. Yang pasti kalau emang penasaran kamu harus mantengin BRIGHTCAST Moraja dari awal sampai akhir biar dikata juga ya kamu bisa terinspirasi dari obrolan kita nanti ya. Tapi sebelumnya terima kasih banyak juga nih untuk Days Perfume yang udah selalu menjadi sponsor kita untuk acara BRIGHTCAST Moraja. Thank you so much. Yaudah deh kalau gitu langsung aja. Kali ini seperti yang udah saya bilang tadi, tamunya adalah dari English First, ya kan? So, kali ini ngomongnya agak-agak sedikit bule ya, karena yang diajak ngobrol itu bukan buleleng asli, tapi ini bule asli loh, ya kan? Asalnya dari mana, namanya siapa? Namanya adalah Sami, and I'm gonna call him Sam. Is it okay?
Yeah, perfect. No problem.
Okay, so thank you. It's such an honor to have you here.
Thanks for having me today, guys.
Okay, so we're going to talk about many things like teaching maybe, and then our students. Okay.
Sounds good. Let's get to it.
Okay, first thing first, let me ask you about where are you from?
Okay, this is a good question. First of all, hello everyone. My name is Sami. I'm Egyptian. Once again, thanks for having me today. So yes, I'm Egyptian. I come from Egypt. But I've been around. So I go around travel around teaching English. So this is actually Bali. This is my first time in Indonesia.
Okay.
And in Asia in general. So it's the third continent I'm gonna teach in. So this is nice. So I taught English before in South America. I taught it back home in Egypt, in Africa. So this is my first time in Asia. So
Asia.
It's quite interesting.
Okay, because you say that this is your first time in Asia. So is this your first time to Bali?
Yeah. First time in Bali, first time in Indonesia, first time in Asia. So first time for a lot of things. So.
But how long have you been here?
This is my
how long
month.
have you been living in Bali?
Yeah, 6 months. I got here exactly on the 31st of March this year. So I've been here for about 6 months now, yeah.
For 6 months?
Yeah.
So how do you feel living in Bali?
Oh, pretty good. Feels nice. I like it. People are nice. It's an island, so you're surrounded by the beach everywhere. So it's nice. It's very nice. Yeah, definitely the weather is nice most of the time. People are nice. It's safe. That's the one thing that I like very much about Bali. Very safe. Because I came from South America. So last year I was teaching English in Colombia. Colombia is super nice, but it's a bit dangerous. You have to be careful there. Here, super safe. I walk around at night, no problem whatsoever, alone, by myself. I leave the door of my apartment open at night, no problem.
Okay, so you're quite a traveler.
Yeah. I've been to so many countries. So that's the 6 countries I've been to teaching English. So I don't just travel for tourism or for leisure or pleasure. No, I travel for work. So I teach English in different countries for 1 or 2 years, and then I move to another country, teaching English, and then the third one, and then so on and forth.
Okay. Since you say that you've been here since March, and what places have you been visiting?
Wow, that's a good question. The thing is, here I'm not on vacation. So I work here. So I only get 2 days off. I work 5 days a week, and we get only 2 days off. So I haven't explored much But luckily, because of the partnership between English First and Monarch, so I've been to the Lung, Monarch the Lung. I've been to Monarch Chandidasa, and also Monarch Singaraja. So I've been around because of the partnership, which is nice. So
okay, so is this your first time to Singaraja?
Yeah, first time. Hopefully, it's not going to be the last time, but yes, first time.
Okay, the first time, but it's not gonna be the last time.
Hopefully, yes, hopefully. It's nice.
Okay.
It's nice out here, quite peaceful. Not a lot of tourists, so it's nice.
Okay, now let's talk about your teaching career. Okay, so how did you become an English teacher?
Oh, this is a very good question. So back home when I was in Egypt, I wanted to work for the British Council office in Egypt. British Council in Egypt is like English First here. So it's very famous. It's a very good language center. So to work there, I needed to have and complete a teaching diploma. It's a famous one. So I did it in Turkey. So I finished it, and then I went back home. And then I started my teaching experience, teaching German. That was back in 2017. So I've been teaching English ever since.
So your first teaching career was in 2017?
My first official teaching job as a certified teacher. So before that, I taught English in Egypt, but I wasn't certified. I didn't have a teaching certification. But after completing that diploma, I was officially certified to teach English to speakers of other languages. So that was my official. I officially started teaching English ever since 2017.
I think it's kind of the same. I also started my teaching career in 2017 here.
Wow. Okay. So you've been working here for 6 years now.
Yeah, 6 to 7 years.
Wow.
I think.
Wow. Nice.
Okay. The next thing is about teaching, right? We still talk about teaching, and you say that you've been teaching since 2017, and it's around the world. Like you're quite a traveler, of course. But then I want to ask you about what about in Bali? Yeah, what about in Bali? Like
teaching
how?
in Bali?
Yeah.
Okay, so here in Bali, I teach for English First. So basically, English First has two sections or two parts. They have the eLife section. This is for teaching virtual classes, online classes.
Online classes.
And we have the face-to-face EF or English First. This is for the teachers who teaches at the EF Center. Here in Bali, it's located in Denpasar. So basically, I work for the eLife team. So I teach classes online, virtually. So I teach students not only from Bali, not only from Indonesia, but from all over the world, from Jakarta here in Indonesia, and other islands as well, from China, from Japan, from Korea, from South America, from Egypt, from Brazil, from everywhere, Saudi Arabia, even from Europe. We have students from Germany, from Italy, from Spain, from everywhere.
Okay.
So that's the good thing about eLife. So you don't only teach students from one place, you teach students from everywhere. So
Because it's virtual.
Yeah, it's virtual, it's online. So it's pretty flexible because they have classes almost 24 hours a day because of the time difference. So, I mean, for example, here, when it's 12 p.m. here, 12 in the afternoon, then in the US or in Mexico, it's going to be 12 o'clock in the morning. There's 12-hour difference. That's why it's very flexible, because you can have classes any time of the day. So it's nice.
That's nice. Okay. Before we talk about the partnership between Monarch Bali and English First, I'd like to know about what do you like about being a teacher?
That's a very good question. I'm a very active person. So I don't like to sit down in an office and just work on a computer alone by myself. I like to interact with people. I like the human interaction. So that's what I like the most. It never gets boring, because you can teach the same class, the same curriculum, same everything using the same material, but in every single class is going to be a different experience.
Okay.
Because people are different. That's the thing about human interaction. So yeah, some classes they ask you lots of questions, others they don't ask you much of questions. So you have to adjust your teaching strategies and techniques to basically get them to participate a bit more. So it's quite challenging because it's different. You can never expect what's going to happen in the class until that moment that you step in the class, and then you deal with it the way it goes.
Okay.
So you have to be very spontaneous and figure things out along the way. So it's pretty nice. I love teaching.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, because you say that you are a virtual teacher.
Yeah.
So is this your first time to face the student directly like that?
No, it's not. Most of my teaching experience were actually face-to-face. I only started teaching virtually during the pandemic.
Okay.
I was working for a school, private school, private English-speaking school in South America. And then because of the pandemic, so obviously the school had to shut down and we switched to online classes. And then after the lockdown was over, we got back to face-to-face classes. So this is my first official online teaching experience.
Which one is more interesting?
For me, I'm a very active person, so I don't like to sit in front of a computer all day teaching. No, I prefer to stand in the class, talk to people. For me, it's easier because also the thing about teaching online, most of the students, they have their cameras off. So they switch off their cameras, so you can really see them. You can see their facial expressions. There are a lot of missing factors.
Okay.
But in a classroom, you can see everybody's reaction. You can tell whether they're bored or they're having fun, if they like you or not. It gets more interactive. But also, when you teach online, sometimes you have a problem with your camera, or they have a problem with your microphone, or the internet is slow. So there are lots of obstacles, lots of problems, technical problems. But face-to-face, it's just much better.
Yeah,
talk to people. So for me, it's much better. Well, everything has its own pros and cons, advantages and disadvantages. But for me, generally speaking, I prefer face-to-face classes.
Okay.
That's why when EF offered me this opportunity, I was like, sure, no problem, why not? I'll try it out, and it was nice.
Okay. Anyway, pasti banyak yang apa sih dia omongin sama Mr. Rajiv gitu ya. Makanya belajar bahasa Inggris dong, biar tahu ya apa sih yang diomongin Mr. Rajiv sama Mr. Sami gitu ya. Anyway, kita akan lanjutkan lagi obrolan kita. Jadi basically itu kita ngomongin soal teaching atau mengajar dan juga karirnya Mr. Sami ini dalam dunia mengajar. Nah, sekarang ini akan dilanjutin lagi nih. Komentar dari Mr. Sami tentang murid-murid yang atau siswa-siswa yang ada di Singaraja. Karena kan Mr. Sami sudah mengajar di sini itu selama 3 hari ya. Jadi pasti ada pengalaman-pengalaman seru yang dirasakan oleh Mr. Sami. So let's continue it.
Okay, perfect.
Anyway, what do you think about the students in Monarch Singaraja? Can you tell me about their weaknesses or maybe their strengths, and then how should they improve their English?
Okay. What I like about Indonesian students in general, first of all, their accent. So their accent is clear compared to other students. So as I said earlier, I work for eLife, so we get students from everywhere, from China, from Japan, from Korea. So I think because of the language, because of the Balinese and Indonesian language, Indonesians have clear language. It's not that hard for them to make certain sounds. So English, they sound good when they speak English, and it's a bit clear. That's definitely a plus. Number 2, I think most of the students here, or some of the students here, are confident.
Okay.
They don't have a problem. They ask questions. They try to participate. They pay attention. They learn. So these are obviously good things. As a teacher, that's what you want. If you don't understand something, just ask. That's what you expect from your students. So I would say their accent, the Indonesian accent, the Indonesian English accent in general is good, is clear compared to other neighboring countries. And so confidence, this is a key factor for learning the language. So I would say that's a good thing. With regards to the other part of the question, which is about the weaknesses, the thing that they want to work on, I would think that they need to have more of role play situations, role play practices,
rather than just doing the
Yeah, no, it's important to do that, but also to include some sort of a role play. For example, we have a role play. I'm gonna be the guest. You're gonna be, for example, if you're a bartender, you're gonna be a bartender, and then I have a problem, and then you have to handle my problem.
Okay.
So we have a role play. So, or if you work as a chef, for example, so I'm a customer. I'm going to complain about the food, and then you're a chef, so I'm going to have to talk to you, and then you explain me about the recipe, about the things, and solve my problem. I think this is important so that when they, but this is something that they will come across and learn when they start their on-the-job training. But it's also good to learn it now, at least to have some sort of expectations of what's going to happen when they start working on a cruise ship or maybe at a hotel. So it's nice. So yeah, practice makes perfect. So just more, and also maybe like have an English speaking day, like only a day, maybe 1 day a week, where students get to speak only English in class and everywhere. Even when they go on their breaks, they can only talk in English so that they can build that confidence. That's important because when you speak a lot in a language, you build some sort of confidence, and that's the key factor.
Okay, so you mean that it's important for us to do like a 1 day to talk in English?
Only English. So no, even especially when they're talking to each other. So obviously, maybe if they talk to someone like me, I don't understand Balinese or Indonesian, so they're gonna have to talk in English. They're forced to. But the trick here is to make them to talk in English to one another, so that way they can learn better. English is my second language. I learned English. That's how I learned it. So at first I didn't speak good English at all. This is how I started. So I started by practicing with a friend of mine everywhere we go, on the subway, in the bus, anywhere we go, we just talk to each other in English. And our English was bad.
Okay.
But that's how you start. And then step by step, we got better, and now I'm a teacher of English. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, talking about improving English, like what you said just now, that you practiced a lot with your friends. And also, we need to do like 1 day full of English, and the students also study in a class. So can you name some ways that students can do to improve their English actually?
Okay, it really depends on what they're looking for. I think for the hospitality industry, grammar is not very important. Writing, I don't think writing is important too. So I think we need to focus more on two major skills, listening and speaking. So listening is a receptive skills. The thing about working in hospitality, that you get to deal with people from all over the world. So even if they speak English, they speak it differently with a different accent. So you'll deal with someone from India who speaks English. His English will be different than people from Australia, people from the States, people from England. So this is something that they need to get used to. So I would say just you need to listen to a lot of, I don't think American accent is a problem these days, because Hollywood movies and the music the American media is very famous everywhere. So people are used to it, but it's more of a problem when they start listening to someone from Ireland or maybe Scotland or someone from Australia with a heavy, strong accent, or even someone from India or somewhere else. So just to try to have this kind of exposure, maybe on the internet, maybe on, for example, e-life classes. They have group lessons with people everywhere. So that's the first advice for me. Just try to listen to people speaking English from different places, because this is what you're gonna have. This is what you're gonna go through when you get on a cruise or when you work at a hotel. One other thing I would say when it comes to speaking, everybody knows that this is your second language. Everybody knows. They don't have high expectations from you. They only expect you to do two things: to understand what they're saying and to be able to express yourself in a basic way. So don't try to study like too complicated expressions or just use big words. It's not important. People know it's your second language. It's not your first language. They only care about two things: that you understand what they're saying and that you can express yourself to them. These are the two most important things.
Okay.
So just focus on the expressions and words that's related to your job. This is what's more important. You don't have to study complicated things. No, you just need to know how to express yourself.
Okay. Well, actually, I still have one more question, but before I ask you to do that, I'd like to talk to the audience.
Sure.
So, anyway, tadi Mr. Sam itu udah sempat ngebagiin ya gimana caranya untuk mengimprove bahasa Inggrisnya. Jadi yang pertama adalah katanya practice a lot ya. Jadi harus sering-sering dilatih. Kemudian kamu juga harus belajar. Belajarnya itu banyak media, bisa lewat internet, application, and many more. Lalu harus terbiasa dengan itu dan kamu bisa belajar dari hal yang paling sederhana dulu gitu kan. Baru bisa step by step untuk meningkatkan bahasa Inggris kamu dengan terus berlatih pastinya, okay? And the last but not least, I think I want to know about can you say 3 words about Monarch Singaraja or Monarch Bali?
Okay. 3 words based on my experience?
Yes.
Okay. First of all, I like that the students are getting into the mood of being very polite and respectful and friendly with everyone. So every time you walk anywhere, people greet you with a smile.
Okay.
So that's what they have to do when they get on cruise and when they work for at a hotel. They have to be super friendly. They smile. They say, "Good morning. How are you today, sir?" Etc. Etc. This is something that I like a lot. Number 2, also classrooms. I like the fact that you guys have speakers and projectors. I'm one of the, I'm not an old-fashioned teacher, so I don't use the whiteboard a lot. So I was afraid when if I come and teach here, you might not have speakers or projectors, so I might not be able to project videos, play videos or photos or anything. I like that you guys had a projector and everything was set up, so it was easy to manage for me. And number 3 is, of course, hospitality. So you guys took care of everything. You paid for, like, you booked us nice rooms, offered us lunch and breakfast and transportation from the hotel to the college campus and everything. So you guys were very welcoming and hospitable. So that was a nice gesture. So yeah, these are the 3 things.
Oke, Brighters, itu dia tuh perbincangan Mr. Rajib bersama Sami ya. Ini adalah salah satu English teacher dari English First. Nah, tadi dia bilang bahwa siswa-siswa Monarch Bali-Singaraja itu murah senyum, kemudian sopan, lalu fasilitas di sini tuh lengkap banget, dan yang pasti hospitality-nya juga keren banget. Makanya buat kamu yang pengen merasakan experience itu, kalau emang masih bingung pengen mencari tempat kuliah di mana, ya udah jangan ragu lagi untuk bergabung bersama Monarch Bali-Singaraja. Anyway, thank you so much for being here with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me today, and until the next time, guys.
Oke. Karena sudah kelar, itu artinya Brightcast Moraja juga sampai di sini aja. Sampai ketemu di Brightcast Moraja edisi berikutnya. See you everyone.
Bye. Have a good day, everyone. Cheers. Bye-bye.